Good morning and welcome to my Forex market analysis for 26th of June. It's last day of the week. It's Friday. So let's start with dollar index. It's moving to the upside, high highs and high lows. And we are in an expansion phase. So what comes after expansion is either consolidation or a pullback and then expansion. Or we get into a consolidation, we sweep the opposite side and we get a reversal. So unless I get some other proof, I'll be still bullish. So in DXY, I'm expecting price to give me a pullback and continue to the upside. The pullback can be here, or it can be here, or it can be anywhere in between. But looking at yesterday's candle, we have a C2 candle, a bullish C2 candle. Let's look at 4 hour. But we don't have any FVG on 4 hour time frame. So it indicates that even though we have a bullish FVG and we have a bullish C2, but there's no 4 hour FVG. So it means that there was no enough momentum or not enough buying in 4 hour or in yesterday's candle that could give us a proof that okay, today we can move to the upside. So for today, the overall bias of DXY is obviously bullish, but if I look at yesterday's candle, I don't see any buying happening. Price tried to go up and suddenly such a big candle. And price again, one, two, three, it's been three candles and again big candle. So I'm expecting price to make like lower lows, lower highs on 4 hour right now, which would mean we will get three, four bearish candles. And then if price wants to continue to the upside, then we will start the expansion phase again. And my job is to take a trade in this phase of expansion, not here. Prices already moved so much. So I'll always keep that in mind to not jump into later phase of expansion. It's always better to jump into earlier phase of expansion. So again, bias is bullish, but no setup of today. Look at AU. The trend is going to the downside, which will be inverse of DXY. So if DXY is going up, AU will go down. Now we have an FPG. We have a bearish C2 candle. It swept yesterday's high and then came down. So my yesterday's analysis was I was waiting for price to go up, sweep, and then go down. This was the strong swing, FPG, and we go here. We get a bearish candle. This was not my trading session, but it was a good trade in my opinion. This trade came at 2:30 at night, so obviously I won't be able to take it. But we sweep FPG, strong swing level, which means a lower high, and I'm expecting price to go down. So if I look at today, yesterday was a C2. I'm expecting price to form a C3 today. So for that, what I need, just like DXY, in DXY I needed a bullish FPG. In AU, I need a bearish FPG on 4 hour. Do we have a bearish FPG on yesterday's candle? No, we do not. This FPG is in today's candle. And if we consider this, prices also sweep this weak swing. Why is it a weak swing? Because we are going to the downside. So it's a weak wall. Just consider it as a really weak wall. Prices more prices more probability of breaking it to the downside. So if I look at price action, I wanted a FPG somewhere over here on yesterday's candle, but we do not have. So for that reason, I won't be looking at AU today. Again, start of expansion. I'm expecting this to be end of expansion and pull back, then continue to the downside. So that's why I'm out of AU. EJ, C2, C3. The candle setup is being bullish. Although we are in a bearish trend, but the candle setup is being bullish right now. So the best approach here is wait for price to make a C2. Today's candle goes up, makes a C2. That means we are in a downtrend. Price went into FPG. We get a C2. And then tomorrow I mean on Monday, I can trade C3 and C4. Or maybe today we stay here. On Monday we open. Price gives me a C2, then I can trade C3, C4. So EJ is in a pullback phase. We we get expansion, we get pullback, we get expansion. Now it's in a pullback phase. I'm expecting an expansion from FVG. So it's a really good, it will be a really good setup if it gives me C2 somewhere over here. And then I can continue. These will be my weak swing. So I'll be targeting these lows. And again, a few days ago, I talked about weekly structure. So there was this resistance. We get a dump. We have a really big FPG. Price comes into it, fails, comes into it again. We get a C2. I said on Monday that I'm expecting a C3 candle on EJ, which we get. It's a C3 candle. And next week, I'm expecting a C4 candle to the downside. And on weekly, if I look, this whole zone like this, there are a lot of wicks, 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 wicks. So I'm expecting price to eventually move to the downside. So it also supports our theory in on daily time frame. So wait for C2 or a C3 and then trade to the downside. But for today, we are in a pullback phase. It does not make sense to trade. I want to trade when price confirms that okay, pullback phase has ended and we are in an expansion phase, which like this bearish pullback phase. How did we confirm that okay, pullback has ended and we are continuing to expand? We get a C2, which is this candle, from a POI, which is FPG. Same here. We have a POI and I'm expecting price to give me a C2 here and then continue to the downside. EU, again inverse of DXY, pullback, expansion, expansion start in an expansion. I'm expecting a pullback and then expansion again. So if I look here, yesterday was a bearish C2 candle from an FPG. So it's a bearish setup. For this to confirm what I need a 4-hour FPG. Let's check on 4-hour. We do not have any FPG. Price is just choppy. The recent FPG have is here. It's too far. I need an FPG from yesterday's candle. So we are just in a choppy range right now on 4-hour. So again, what I'm expecting here is price to give me a pullback, give me a C2 or C3 from this FPG, and then continue to the downside. If I look at weekly, although no need to look at weekly, but I'm just looking here for explanation phase. We get a C2. This is a C3 candle close, and then I'm expecting C4. But again, we need to wait. So only way I will short EU is either I get a C2, C3 from here, or I get a C2, C3 from here. But this will be too far. Before price reaches here, I think it will change the trend and we will get bullish setups. So I need to look, but best scenario will be a C2 from here or a C3 from here. GJ, uh, it's just choppy. Down, up, down, down, up. It, I can clearly see on if we move on to 4 hour, that is just it's just so messy. If I look at weekly, price went up, came down, again trying to go up. So it's my analysis is the same. I need this break or I need this break. Then I can continue looking. If it breaks to the downside, continue looking sells, break to the upside, continue looking buys. GU, you have a strong swing. We have a FPG. We have a weak swing. So if DXY will give me a pullback, EU will give me a pullback, and GU gives me a pullback to the strong swing inside an FPG. GU will be the most highest probability setup because it's into FPG and a strong swing point. So if I get option to choose between EU, AU, and GU, and all three give me same C2, C3 setup around the same area, then I will choose GU because we have a swing point here. So uh, there's no chance of being bullish unless DXY is bearish. So you can see the trend is bearish. Now I'm expecting price to give me a C2 or a C3 from here. I cannot take a C2, C3 in this range because there is no POI here. The latest POI is this FPG, which it needs to sweep this high because the FPG, we already get into FPG and we made a point here. So if price just goes here, give me a C2, C3, it's not a FPG POI. To consider this FPG valid, I need a sweep of this and then close back in as a C2 or a C3 candle, then I can continue to the downside. Or we can just break to the downside and I'll I'll look for some local setups here, or again maybe a pullback or something. But let me mark like this. So if you get a break here, then it's also possible to sell. You can we get a bearish C2 on 4 hour. We have a bearish FPG and we have a bearish CIST. So overall, it's bearish. Now, if I just look at the candle color and I say myself, okay, yesterday candle was bearish C2, I should look for sell. It's possible price could go down. We are getting a really good sell candle. In 50 minutes, it will cause bearish into FPG. It is possible for price to go down. But my overall bias is bullish. If I take a sell here, I'm overall fighting the trend. The trend is so clear to the upside. It's always better to wait for a pullback and then continue with the trend rather than trying to catch the top. It will work maybe 2 out of 10 times, maybe 1 out of 10 times. But if I wait for a pullback and then continue expansion to the upside, it works 6 or 7 out of 10 times. So it has much higher probability to for the price to go to the upside because the overall trend is going to the upside. The whole money is pointing that everyone is going bullish here. It does not make sense for me to jump and go against the market sentiment. Sentiment here is bullish. So again, either tomorrow I get a, either today's candle close below, closes back in. It's a C2. Then I can trade C3, C4, or I get a deeper pullback to the FEG, which I really want because price has exhausted too much. I want it to give me to give a pullback of 4 or 5 candles. Price has a lot of time to stabilize and then pull back to the upside, pull to this. But again, I'm also looking for this as well. So it can give either a C2, C3 here or a C2, C3 here. Then I can continue to the upside. But for today, it looks really good to sell, but It will just be a pattern. There's no context in it. The context being the whole trend of the market is upside, and I'm trying to sell it. It's a worst strategy that you can implement in the market. UCHF clearly trend to the upside. We have FVG, FVG. You can see the best trade was here when the expansion phase was price came into FVG, and we get an expansion to the upside because the trend is going upside. This was C2. Try to take a trade here and then ride it. And I can clearly see that this was a really big candle. Little bit small, little bit small, 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 small. The candle size is getting smaller. That means people are buying it less likely. So such a big candle means a lot of people and a lot of money in institution, they bought it here. But here they're trying to take off their profits. Same is happening with uh, AU, same is happening with EU, and same is happening with GU, same is happening with UCAD. Everyone bought here. They're just trying to take out their profits. So this pullback that you see here, this red candle, this is just people taking off their profits. It does not mean that now the trend will go to the downside. That's why I asked, I won't be selling here because it's just people taking off their profits. Whoever buy here, they need to sell somewhere to take out their profit. So they're taking out their profits, which market reacts as a pullback. So people buy here, buy here, buy here. People start to take out their profits. So market goes slowly to the downside, slowly to the downside, slowly to the downside. Taps into an FPG, and people start buying again. People start buying, 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 and now they're taking off their profit. So market will slowly, slowly go to the downside, tap into FPG, give me a C2, C3, and move to the upside again. So I'm expecting the same thing. So if I look here, I have FPG here, I have FPG here. What I'm expecting is price to go down, tap into FPG, give me a C2, C3, and then continue to the upside. Or come into this FPG, give me C2, C3, and then go to the upside. Obviously, price can just continue going from here. I cannot do anything in that. There's no point of interest for me. So for my setup to occur and for me to put my money on risk and to take a trade, I demand an FVG from the market. So a point of interest for market, point of interest being either a swing point, which is, let me mark this out. It's a strong swing point, and it's a, this one is a weak swing point. So weak swing point is always expected to be broken. Price comes here, break to the upside. But a strong swing point, price comes here, holds it, and then continue to the upside. I always expect strong swing to hold. I always expect weak swing to break. So again, uh, POI, C2, C3, continue with the trend going to the upside. AUJ just it did not give a single trade in this whole point. If I look, I think it gave trade over here somewhere. So in March, since 3 months, it did not give any trade at all. But other pairs did, so that's fine. If I'm looking at the price action, I'm same as last week. I need price to sweep it, tap into FPG, continue to the upside because the trend is upside. So again, there's no POI in between this. Even if I get a bullish C2, C3 here, there's no POI, so I won't be interested in it. For me to be interested, I need POI, FPG, and then a sweep of it and a continue to the upside. Or this will be my strong swing. And this is weak swing. I'm expecting price to break the weak swing. It doesn't matter if it gives me a setup or not, but weak swing will be broken sometime and strong swing will be held sometime. This strong swing is really good because it's also in an FPG. But again, this is really far. It will take weeks to reach here. So the best setup will be C2, C3 from FPG because we are in a bullish trend. Gold, uh, expansion, consolidation, expansion, pullback, expansion. Best trade at the start of the expansion, not at the end of the expansion. But now, today I'm looking, there is an FPG. We have a sweep high. We have a yesterday's high. What I'm expecting is price to go up, sweep it, continue to the downside. For this, I need two things from 4 hour. I need a clear swing point. That means a lower high, and I need an FPG that overlaps it. So let's look. There is an FPG and there is a swing point. So if price today comes, sweeps it, I will look for selling. If I could get a C2, C3, something like this, I think it's a good trade. We continue to the downside and market got rest for yesterday. What I'm expecting is, okay, a lot of people are trying to sell it, but a lot of liquidity is here. Yesterday, whoever sold their stop losses are here. The price will go up, take out their stop losses, and continue to the downside. We have an FPG, and if I go to 4 hour, two things I need: a swing point, a lower high, which this is, and an FPG, which we have. So I will wait for this sweep. I will set an alert, and I'll wait for price to come here. Give me a C2, C3, or a momentum bearish candle, whichever it comes first. I'll go into 15 minutes to confirm if there's 15 minutes is making lower highs. If it's making lower highs at the close of 4 hour, I will take a sell with my stop loss up, and I hope for price to continue to the downside. And once, let's say we get a candle here, it will form a C2 once it closes. Then I can trade C3 as well, and then I can trade C4 as well. So I have 3 more days of trading left, and then it's up to price if it decides to continue to the downside or continue to the upside. Yeah, gold has just risen and came back to the pre-war era. So yeah, I think only setup for me today is gold. I already set an alert and I'll be waiting for my alert to go off and then continue to the downside. Again, it's Friday today. So this candle, next candle, and next candle. So 2 more candles. I'm expecting price to reach and close below in 2 more candles. So it's a tough call, but let's see. It's same as AU, by the way. Sweep of yesterday's high. What we need, 4 hour swing point, which we have, and a 4 hour FPG, which we have. We get a sweep and continue to the downside. The same thing I'm expecting from gold today. So I'll be waiting for gold. No other setups for me today. Uh, this week has been a really silent week because of no trades at all. We are just in a push phase. We're just in a push phase. The best time to trade again, I keep saying, is beginning of the expansion phase. Stop loss will be much better place, and if price continues to the downside, we have a lot of range to cover. But if I try to sell here, sell here, sell here, sell here, price just behaves really differently. Price just behaves really differently for me. And I don't know at what point price will reverse. So I can continue looking for C2, C3 or something like that. But I myself am not confident in taking setups when market is overextended. I try to position myself when the expansion is just about to begin. This expansion is just about to begin. Expansion, this. So if I look at this, it was such a beautiful trade here. And we have an FPG, we have a C2, trade C3, trade C4. That's it. Once I'm done with C4, I'm not looking at this. I want price to give me a pullback and continue again. So again, beginning of the expansion is much better than ending of the expansion. So try to position yourself when the market has just started to begin the expansion phase, not here. There's no money here. You will just give away your profits back to the market. You'll just give away all of your profits back in. So these um, trade C3, which is this candle, trade C4, which is this candle. That's it. Once we get C3, C4, no need to look for trading. Then again, wait for new setups to form. Yeah, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any doubts, then maybe comment. And have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Thank you.